going to do a couple of quick demos, and I thought I'd do a watercolour one followed by an oils one. I'll keep it fairly simple though. So I thought I'd use this image for the watercolour and this image for the oils. And it's carrying on the theme of sort of clouds and weather, so it's like a weather theme this month. So the last couple of demos I did really just cloud painting. So I think that was the watercolour one from a couple of weeks ago, and then that was the oils one that I did last week. Yeah, I'll try this one with trees. So what I've done to start with is I've started by pre-mixing some colours, because ideally I want to have colours here that I can just use. So a biggish brush, and I want to get a background colour here. And for me it's, I don't know, sort of slightly yellowy, slightly pinky. This will at least get the paper a little bit damper. And then I can work some wet paint into wet paint. I might add a tiny bit of a red to that now, just to vary it a little bit. And then at the bottom it's slightly grey, I'd say. So just vary it a little bit. Right, okay, and then go down to a smaller brush, a little bit smaller brush, and a slightly stronger mix of paint. So it's not so much water this time. What I found myself wanting to do was just use bits just to test out the colours. So I did that this morning, and I think this is still a little bit in the mix from this morning. That's not wet enough, so let's just try that again. So hopefully that will be okay. So I'm going to start with these ones in the background. The idea is to just put in some very faint trees. I'm roughly following that one. And then let's go down, it's a very tiny bit stronger. In fact, I have a couple more over here. Same sort of density, same sort of strength. I've not really sketched out positions for them, but you could do if you wanted to. I think the watercolours can look quite nice for misty scenes. And then for the foreground, I want to make that a bit stronger, so I'll get a stronger mix. Same sort of colour, but just less water. And as it's going onto a damp surface already, I don't want to introduce too much water, so that's one of these further down. But still into a damp surface. Hopefully that gives the impression that these spin a bit closer to. Let's do another one here. A bit stronger at the top, I think. We're just kind of letting the paint mingle with the watercolours. And then if you want to go even stronger still, the thing about this sort of thing is you're going to get to a point where the paper starts to dry. So I think I'd really struggle to do all of that in one hit. What you might be able to do is, I'll just swap over to another page for a minute. If you wanted to carry on working wet in wet, sometimes I've used these little atomizer sprays, and you can basically sort of kind of re-dampen the page without lifting the paint off, and that way you can get some stronger, some more painting, some more kind of softened brushwork. You're not going to get such hard edges. I'm not particularly trying to spray into that, but again, that's something you could, something you can experiment with. So that would be that. And the other thing is the ones in the foreground, they're going to be a little bit sharper anyway. So this is the one I did this morning. I might want to try it. I just thought it'd be interesting to see what it looks like. So that's all wet and wet. But if I did another tree that is working onto the dry surface, so wet painting dry surface, I'll make this a little bit darker, a little bit sort of all kind of purples and browns and those sort of colours. That's a little bit here. That's a little bit too dark. Let's lighten that here. So the ones in the foreground will be a little bit sharper anyway. That might be quite nice to just have some contrast, the soft edges and the slightly sharper edges. And you could experiment with putting slightly different mixes of colour in there, just have a little bit more blue there, let that run in, maybe a little bit more brown on this side. I think that might work, might be quite nice. But say, if you fancy trying something like that, the images I've got, I don't have any of my own photos here. This one of Norwich Cathedral I took a long time ago, but all the others, there's a collection here that I've kind of basically just whipped this off the internet. So, misty images off the internet. So if you wanted to use any of these, just for practice. So that's that one. I thought perhaps have a go at this one, but with a little bit of oils. So just to show you another approach, if you want to use oils, pop that up there. So I'm just going to use this little bit board I've got here. And swap up to the oils, which is this part. And again, I'll just paint a little section, maybe this little bit here. Just calm down there. So with the oils, I don't tend to paint, I don't like to have the paint too wet really, so I'll thin it a little bit to make it flow, but I generally use it as sort of consistency. It comes just slightly wetter than how it comes out of the tube really. So I'm going to mix this kind of peachy colour here, pinky peachy colour. A little bit of magenta and a little bit of yellow. This is a bit too wet really. Little section of that. And then make it a little bit more pinky as it comes down. Nice thing about the oils is I've got a lot longer to work. This will stay wet and damp for a long time. I can go back in and make adjustments. Make it a tiny bit. Different colours through. So use a reasonable size brush. And then this pink colour is also in the water here as well. Work a little bit of that here. As I say, I'll just do a little bit around here. This section. That's a little bit more yellow. And then we've got these slightly purpley greys. So I'll use Again, magenta and a little bit of ultramarine. I'm just using the same brush for the time being. So washing it, and that can go in here. And I want to get a nice flat horizon. So that can be this little bit of land in the distance. And to me, it's also got a slightly greenish tinge, so I'm going to add a little bit of a greeny colour into that. So a little bit of cerulean, a little bit of yellow, lemon yellow, cerulean. Just make that a nice, bright, nice greeny colour. And a little bit bluer. Dark as well, I like that a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is to keep roughly the same tone, but just alter the colour a little bit, so it breaks the colour a little bit. I think that can sometimes liven it up, painting into the colours. And we've got some purples in there, a little bit purple. Some of this little mud bank coming out here. Probably should have left a gap there, I just thought move that around. A little bit dark, some darker colours in there too. So some blue and brown. Then just pop up one of these boats in here. I can just go on the edge there. So this is where it becomes a little bit hard because it's wet paint I'm painting into. So I can get a certain amount of wet paint to stick. Sometimes it helps to have slightly softer brushes, painting wet into wet. The hull of the boat, a couple of little thin bits, a bit more mud under there. And then the mast, I'm going to use, I haven't got a very good brush today, so I'm just going to use my palette knife and see if I can create a mast that way. So use a little bit of these darker colours. And may not be the wrong colour, right colour, but oops, that's gone a bit blotted, but a sharp line like that. Soften that out a little bit there. And then just this little bit of reflection really underneath. So again, slightly lilac-y, slightly purpley. A little bit under here. And then the mast would reflect sort of down there as well. Okay. So, yeah, that's roughly how we kind of go about those sort of scenes. And when you've got these misty effects, I think sort of painting colour in, then painting another colour into that, and soften the edges, and sort of give you that sort of, perhaps that could be this bit here, maybe soften this bit out a little bit, get that slightly softer. Oops. God, I've gone really quiet today. I wonder what's happening already. 10.
We're missing all the trouble.
Yeah. Stop.